Hello everybody, this is Mr. Arrival and welcome back to another episode of the Athletics franchise here on MLB The Show 24. Yes, no longer the Oakland Athletics as we're officially into year 2, which means we have moved to our temporary home in Sacramento. But before we get there, we have spring training to go through, take a look at the new roster, preview the upcoming season, as well as some position battles that are going to take place. So if you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. I do want to apologize if I do sound a little different. I guess on my cruise I did bring back like a cold or some allergies with me. So I'm trying to bear through it. Definitely on some medicine, but we're going to get through this episode. Now, we made some upgrades in the offseason, specifically to the pitching. So we'll see those guys in today's episode. Before we get into spring training, there's a couple of last minute trades that happened around the league, as some of these teams at the winter meetings decided to move some players. Specifically, we'll start with the Colorado Rockies. If you know, in the offseason, everybody in the NL West made big moves besides Colorado. So they're going into rebuild, and they're trading away a few pitchers. Starting off with Cal Quantrill, who hasn't been very good. He's going to go to Milwaukee for prospect Evan McKendry in the bullpen, as well as a throw-in Carlos Rodriguez, who doesn't have as much of a high potential. But Cal Quantrill is going to Milwaukee to try to beef up their starting pitching. The next Rockies pitcher on the move is going to be German Marquez. Now, Marquez has a little bit more value than Cal Quantrill, somehow, even though I think Quantrill's been better, as Marquez has never really reached that full potential. But he's going to be shipped to Miami for Brian De La Cruz. This is an interesting deal because De La Cruz is a big league player, and he gives Colorado another bat, while Miami kind of has a long jam in the outfield with Jesus Sanchez already there. So that will be the deal. German Marquez will go to a new home in Miami, while the Rockies get another bat in Coors Field in Brian De La Cruz. Now, the third and final pitcher on the move from the Rockies is Dakota Hudson. He will be traded to the Philadelphia Phillies for relief pitcher Orion Kerkering, a flamethrower out of the bullpen who only has 3 innings pitched in his Philadelphia tenure, so they will swap teams. Now, 2 more trades to go over. As you can see, Dakota Hudson is now in Philadelphia. Both of them are bats. Yoan Moncada of the White Sox is first. Now, if you know, in the offseason, the White Sox gave a big deal to Alex Bregman, so it seems like Moncada's time is over in Chicago, and he's going to be traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks, who want to keep up in the arms race in the NL West. They'll send 18-year-old relief pitcher Paul Wheat back to Chicago to make it official. It says Moncada's in AAA. I don't think it'll be long before they add him to his 40-man roster. And finally, the biggest trade is probably Lane Thomas of the Nationals. Nationals have a huge prospect dump in the outfield, and Lane Thomas is kind of the odd man out. He's going to go to New York for Brendan Beck, a top prospect, and Jordan Groshans, as the Yankees finally get their replacement for Juan Soto, who left to go to Arizona. Lane Thomas will be that guy in New York, and Washington gets 2 solid prospects who are on the verge of potentially being major leaguers, but Lane Thomas is now a New York Yankee. Now, the last order of business before we get into the actual games here in spring training is kind of an announcement. I've wanted to make this series more immersive for you guys, let you guys know what's going on in real time, like standings-wise and stuff. Well, today I'm going to introduce you to the Google Doc, the Google Forms that you can follow in this series that gives you live, up-to-date stuff with what's going on. I will share this in the description of all of my videos, but here is, for example, the year 1 doc that I made. You can go back and look at all the standings you want for see who, was in the final standings, and during this year I'll have them up to date per episode, so it gives you more of a glimpse of what's going on along the majors, as well as playoff scores. If you want to know the scores in the series, that's there as well. If you want to know the award winners, I have all the award winners listed, as well as the all-stars, and I'm going to add the transactions as well, any big-time trades around the league. That way you can keep up with everything that's going on if you want more involved in the franchise. Obviously it's not going to be mandatory, but I think it'll be a good addition for the channels, let you guys know what's going on around the MLB. But that does it for all the preface stuff. Let's get into the actual games here. I'm not going to play every game, but I do want to start off with the first game as we go to Seattle to face the Seattle Mariners in Arizona in the Cactus League. So we'll get a good look today at the team that finished 4th in our division a year ago, the Seattle Mariners, as we won't go through the entire game, just look at some of the highlights. Starting off here in the top of the first, here's the first at-bat of Gio Urshela, the offensive third baseman we made signing in the offseason, and he will go down looking at his first spring training at bat. On On the mound for the Athletics in this game will be Paul Blackburn. He will be the ace going into this season. Did not have the best 2024, but a lot of our pitchers did not have a good season last year. Hoping to right that wrong here in 2025, as here's a 2-out base hit by Julio Rodriguez. But Seth Brown's going to get to it, and he's going to gun down J-Rod at second. What a throw from left field by Seth Brown. Bottom 3 now, 1 on for Mitch Haniger, and Blackburn's going to get his 3 innings, and he's going to go scoreless. He actually faces the minimum batters. Very unconventional way. Mason Miller will then take the 4th inning, still trying to figure out what his future is. I'd like to see him be a starter for the future, but we had a hard time even giving him 1 inning last year. But he does get through his 1 spring training inning here today by going 1-2-3 against the top of the lineup. Top 5 now, still hitless are the Athletics, but no longer. Seth Brown golfs one into right field and out of here. A solo shot for Seth Brown, who led the team in home runs a year ago, hoping he can keep that power bat up going into this season as we take the first lead of spring training. Going into the next inning, it will be given to Jose Butto, who are really looking to finally step up as an Athletic. He was acquired at the trade deadline last year from the Mets in the Alex Wood deal, and he was abysmal since coming over to the A's. Hoping that his command can get shored up, as here's bottom 5. He has Mitch Garver up first, and he's going to lace one into center field, a leadoff hit for Butto. And unfortunately, it's going to turn into 2 because Ruiz airmails the throw. So that'll be a single E8, the runner now in scoring position for Butto. Next batter, Luke Raley, 1-2, and he gets him to swing and miss through a fastball. Nice pitch there by Butto, even though he did catch too much of the plate. But then up next, Jorge Polanco rips one into left field. That's going to be an RBI. Polanco, who did so much damage to us last season, continues that here in the spring. And again, Butto's giving up a lead. Next batter, Ty France, actually 2 down now, and that's going to be a wild pitch. Again, the command still an issue for Jose Butto. Later in the bat, now full count to Ty France, and he walks him, so he'll put runners on the corners. 2 down now for Mitch Haniger. 2-2 pitch, and he looks at strike 3. So Butto gets 3 outs, but he does give up the 1 run. Here comes Wade Miley, one of our signings at starting pitcher this year, who had a very good season in 2024. Hopefully he can bring some more stability to the rotation as a lefty guy as he goes 1-2-3 here in the 6th. J-Rod can't check his swing in time. Top 7, here's Tyler Soderstrom. The offense has been extremely bad today as there's another K. Maybe trying to take some time to wake up. Joe Barlow, our Rule 5 pickup at the draft. Here's his numbers from 2023. He didn't play all of last year. Why not take a shot of him in the Rule 5 draft? We'll see if he can bounce back here in 2025. The first batter he'll face is Sam Haggerty, and he'll draw a walk. So he's on first. Now 1 down for Ryan Bliss at the plate. And he chops one over to Giloff. That's going to be 4-6-3. And Barlow goes 1-2-3 in the 7th. Top 8, here's Robbie Martin, our number 4 overall pick in last year's draft, getting an invite to spring training. Unfortunately, Ruiz is thrown out a second. His first at-bat here in spring, and he's going to swing and miss. But I have high hopes for Robbie Martin. Stay tuned later this episode. Chris Martin will get the next inning. The former Boston Red Sox came over on a 1-year deal, trying to bounce back after not a good 2024. That's kind of what the Athletics had to do in the offseason, go for guys who potentially have good upside. He starts off by walking Jason Hayward, who's actually going to be pinch ran by Clase, and he's going to steal second base. So a runner in scoring position now here for the Mariners. Ty France up next, and he's going to hit this one through the right side, and that's going to be an RBI single. The throw is not in time. The Mariners have their first lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Martin gives up 1 already, but he does get the next 3 batters to go down. But the Mariners with a 2-1 lead here into the 9th. 1 down, facing Andres Munoz, an all-star season ago, and our all-star Zach Geloff is going to get a hit through the right side of the infield. So the tying run on first, but 2 batters later, here's Lawrence Butler pinch hitting. 0-2 count from Munoz. Swing and miss on a slider, and the Mariners will win Game 1 of spring training by a final score of 2-1. As the offense was basically non-existent today. The pitching did pretty good overall, but there was just nothing there. We had 4 hits, and we only gave up 6 hits, and unfortunately, 2 runs beats 1. Now, for a lot of the next episode, I'll be looking at some player locks, some of the position battles here in the spring training, including who's going to be the 5th starting pitcher. There's a lot of young guys here in the organization, and I feel like our top 4 is kind of set, but we need somebody to step up to be that 5th spot. And today we're going to take a look at Joe Bole, who had a chance last year to pitch for us. He's still listed as one of our top prospects in the organization, but he did not go good last year in his short sample size. He had a 9+ ERA. And today he's going to face the Cleveland Guardians, so we'll take a look at his 3 innings as the A's sit 2-2 in spring training. And he'll begin by getting Steven Kwan to pop up, as I guess Boyle trips there as he dives on the ground. And now we're inside of the third baseman Urshela. That was a very odd sequence. Next batter, Nolan Shanuel, acquired in the offseason from the Angels in the trade that sent Logan Allen to our division rivals. He singles into left field. Now Joe Boyle's got a runner on for Josh Naylor, who rips one into right field, is headed for the bullpen, and it's going to clear the wall. A 2-run shot for Josh Naylor. Not the start that Boyle wanted his spring training. Because like I said, he's still fighting for that 5th spot. There's a lot of young guys in this organization who could get it. Kim Waldachuk was good last year once he came back from injury. Joey Estes, the rookie, vastly outperformed his expectations. He's a guy who potentially could get that 5 spot. And I want to see what guys like Gunnar Hoglund could do, JT Ginn, Luis Medina, Hogan Harris. You know, if Joe Boyle struggles like he did last year, he might find himself starting in AAA again. Fortunately for him, though, he would settle down, as here he is in the bottom of the 2nd as he gets priced to pop up into left field. 2 down now for the 8-hitter in George Valera. 1-2 pitch, and he's going to ground this one over to first. And Boyle goes 1-2 through here in the 2nd. He'll get the 3rd inning. Here's Jimenez starting off, and he's going to do the exact same thing that Valera just did. 3 unassisted. Can we get another 1-2-3 inning? Top of the lineup. Here's Steven Kwan. 2-1 gets jammed, and he's going to bloop that one into left. So base hit given up here by Boyle. They will not test the arm of Brown, who again has a nice arm out there in left field. Shanuel up next, singled in his first at bat, and here he's going to get another one. Bloops this one into left center. Kwan's going to round the corner and go to 3rd, and now Boyle again in a little bit of a jam. If he can get out of it, that would be very good for his stock. As the next batter he faces is Josh Naylor, and he gets him to swing and miss on the inside slider. Nice pitch there by Boyle. Now he just has to make it through Jose Ramirez, and he will walk Ramirez. Don't fully blame him, but now you leave the bases loaded for All-Star Bo Naylor. First pitch to him, and he's going to pop this one to deep center field. This one's got some carry at the wall, and it's caught, and Boyle just misses disaster. But he does go through 3 innings, gives up 2, but we do lose this game 6-1 as the bullpen was not very good in this game. But Joe Boyle again didn't look overly impressive in his start here today, but he'll get a couple more in spring training. And speaking of starting pitchers, another guy I want to take a look at. Now, Jose Butto was our trade acquisition last year at the deadline in the Alex Wood deal to New York Mets, but he's been very bad since we've acquired him. If you take a look at his ERA after he was traded for last year, he had a 7.90 ERA in 110 starts with the team. So he was very bad, and I want to say he is going to be in a rotation, but if he plays like that, I don't know. And I don't want to give up on Butto because he was our big acquisition last year. I say big with quotations, but you know, he's got to prove himself. The command's been an issue. You can see he walks a batter here, gets himself into a little bit of trouble here in the first, but he does get Tatis to fly out. Now, Butto has had a pretty decent spring training, I will say, so it's definitely been better than what we saw last year. But he's got to be more consistent, you know, if he wants to keep his place in the rotation. We just talked about there's a lot of young guys on the way up. Ken Waldachuk, Hogan Harris, Luis Medina, JT Ginn, you know, Gunnar Hoglund. There's a lot of these guys, Joey Estes, who want and have proven that they can pitch pretty decently. And Butto just has to hold his job. Now, he does have a 1-2-3 second, but he does begin the 3rd by getting a base hit to Jurickson Profar. So, again, a runner on, and he then strikes out Jose Azocar. So, good bounce back there. And I want to see how he does with some sort of tension, I guess. How does he do when he's in a little bit of a pickle? Well, he strikes out 2 batters there. And then Xander Bogaerts grounds over to 3rd. Tough play over there by Urshela, as that one's going to be a base hit. So now Butto's got 2 on for the heart of the lineup. Manny Machado up next, rips one into right field, and we have a bases loaded scenario. They don't send him against Fernando Tatis Jr., the best of the best. Butto, 0-1 pitch, chopper over to short. Robbie Martin has it, and that's going to end the inning. So good job by Butto to get out of the 3rd. Now they actually will give him the 4th as well to see if he can get through another inning of work. And he begins by giving up a leadoff base hit. So again, Butto giving up a couple of hits. Has yet to give up a run, though, however. Jake Cronenworth up next, and he's going to fly this one deep into left field, but it's going to be caught. So Again, solid contact, but again, it's an out. Bobby Dahlbeck up next, and he's going to crush a fastball into left. That one, everybody knows it is way out of here, over the billboard in left. And Butto just gave him a fastball right down the middle. Missed the spot, supposed to be low. It was right over the heart, and Dahlbeck sends it 438. And that's kind of been the problem we've seen with Jose Butto in his tenure with the A's. He just does not have the best control of his pitches. Now, I hate that he did give up that 2-run homer because he was playing pretty decent up until that point, but sometimes this one batter is all it takes. As then Profar singles, still in a little bit of trouble here. Jose Azocar up next, a pitch in the dirt, so Profar will go to second. That'll count as a wild pitch. And later in the at-bat, Azocar with a full count, and he's going to throw ball 4. So another walk for Butto, his second of the day, and he will be pulled after that. So he doesn't make it through the 4th. Hogan Harris comes in. You can see his numbers, not overly impressive either. But the A's do end up winning this game, as you can see on the score, 5-3 on Duhar, and Allen drove in a couple of runs. The Padres did tie it, but the offense pulled away in the end, so good job to get the win. But again, Butto did not look overly impressive. I do think he'll start the season in the rotation, but he's going to have to show some consistency if he wants to keep his spot there. Now, the next position battle I do want to take a look at is at shortstop. We have a couple of guys at shortstop who have major league experience, who can play, as well as our top pick last year. And I don't really know which one to start. We've had some good performances in spring out of all of our shortstops besides Logan Davidson. So who's going to take that job at the starting shortstop? We're going to start this first game home against the Kansas City Royals. We sit 6-9 on spring training up to this point. And I want to take a look at Robbie Martin. Martin was our draft pick last year, so he hasn't even been with the organization for a full calendar year, and he's hitting .333 this spring, which, he's the number 4 overall pick out of the University of Georgia. And I thought, we'd call him up this spring and kind of give him some reps, because I do think he's ahead of the curve with his development. But I honestly didn't think he'd come to hit spring and hit over 300, which has been very impressive. And, if Martin continues to play like this, it's going to be hard to deny him an opening day spot. He's been one of our best batters, and, he just might make the cut on the 26-man roster. Now, Martin, I do not see his long-term future at shortstop. He's a little bit bigger for a shortstop. I do think he's more of a second base and maybe DH type of role. But for now, we have Geloff at second base. So I don't think he will switch into that spot. But we do get the win. Unfortunately, Martin does not get any hits. He was pulled for Jacob Wilson, our other top prospect, who's had a good spring training as well. And we get the win against Kansas City, 6-4. But Martin's a guy to take a look at as the spring continues to roll around. He might make the cut. He might make the starting shortstop spot. Now, the guy he's going to have to beat out, though, is the guy who's also been playing very good this spring. That's Nick Allen. As you go here today to face the Brewers, we sit 8-10. Allen was our shortstop for most of last season. He played also a little bit of third base. He did miss some time with an injury, however, but when he came back from injury, he played pretty solid. Now, he's definitely the best defender of the bunch, as I say that, he takes a bad route to that ball. But, out of all of the guys I just talked about, Allen, Martin, Hernandez, Davidson, it is definitely Nick Allen who is the best defender of that group. Now, I also say he might be on the bottom half of the hitters from that regard. I do think Martin has a better bat. Hernandez, maybe. Davidson didn't really show much, but you can see right now he is second in the team in OPS this spring. That is very impressive for a guy who's not known for his bat. And if that continues to come around, Nick Allen could be a very good asset to the squad. And I think he right now has the starting shortstop position, but he's looking over his shoulder at Davidson. He's looking over his shoulder at Martin. And these next couple of weeks of spring training will go a long way to see if now Nick Allen really is going to be the shortstop of the future. Now, I don't think also Hernandez, I do want to touch on the other guys, he didn't perform well. He had the job to begin last year. He probably will start off at AAA. He's had a pretty impressive spring, though. But, with the logjam, he's already proven that, he hit under 200 in well over half the season. Davidson, he might be there. More of a platoon. He's the only guy that hits from the left-hand side of the plate. He hasn't been that impressive this spring as well, so I don't know if he is going to be the full-time shortstop. But still a lot to go, as Allen hitless today does draw a walk here in the ninth inning, putting the tying run at the plate. Good eye there. Now he does get the signal. He's going to try to steal second here. He gets a jump, but the throw from the catcher is right on line. He gets gunned down at second base, and the Brewers will end up winning this game by a final score of 4-2. as we drop another one. But that's just the shortstop battle to take a look at. Now, we're going to go through the rest of spring training, and I will play the final game in full just to kind of wrap up the month. So that brings us to the final game of spring training here in the Cactus League, as we'll play host to the San Francisco Giants today, actually on the road against San Fran, as we've actually acquired a winning record here in spring training. We're going to put Luis Medina on the mound for the final game. This could be his potential last chance to prove himself with the Oakland Athletics. It has not been a good spring for him. One guy who has had a good spring, though, is Hammer Longball. We'll get our first look at the newest signing of the Giants from the Super Mega League, and he strikes out swinging. Now, back to Medina. Medina is probably not going to make the opening day roster. However, he has used all of his options, so if we send him down, there's a chance somebody could claim him off waivers, as here in the second inning, he gives up a solo shot to Lamont Wade, and the Giants are on the board first. It's just not been good for Medina in his Athletics tenure. However, do you want to risk losing him if you send him down to the minors? That'll have to be the decision we make after this game. That's why it's kind of a final audition. The Giants, nonetheless, lead 1-0. Good top three down here for Gio Urshela, as he's going to hit one into right center. That's going to go gapping as Longball can't cut it off. If there is one weakness to Hans Hammer Longball's game, it is his defense. And that's a 2-out double for Gio Urshela, his second hit of the ball game. Next batter up, Ryan Noda, 1-1 pitch, and he's going to slap this one down the third base line and fair. And the Athletics have tied it up at 1 apiece off the RBI double from Ryan Noda. So it's good to see the offense try to keep pace here today. They've also got something to prove. Brent Rooker now up next. Noda on third, and he's going to swing and miss to the slider to end the top of the third inning. We'll go bottom three now. Medina on the mound, starting off with Paul DeJong, and he's going to draw a walk. First walk of the day for Medina. Next batter, Austin Slater, and he's going to bloop this one to left center, and it will get down in front of Brown. So back-to-back base runners here for San Fran in the third. Nicky Lopez up next, 1-2, and he's going to hit this one high and deep into right center. Rooker will get to it, but they will tag the runner to third. So now you got runners on the corners, one down for the next hitter, Hammer Longball. And he draws a walk, so you load the bases with one away for the four-hitter. Is Wilmer Flores, 1-1 pitch, and Flores is going to rip this one to right field, and that's going to get down for some trouble. Roll all the way to the wall. It's a bases-clearing double for Flores. 4-1 Giants, and Medina's struggles continue as he still has to get through this inning. Next batter, Mike Yastrzemski. He swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt. Langoliers will block it, but he won't make the throw to first. So a strikeout, wild pitch, and E2, what should be the second out of the inning, keeps it alive. Runners still on the corners here. One down, Blake Sabol up next as he skies this one into right center. It will be caught by Ruiz, but the runner will tag and will be safe. That will not go against Medina's ERA, but technically it was his wild pitch in the dirt, despite the fact Langoliers should have made the play. That'll do it for Medina. Mason Miller will then come in. He's actually had a good spring, which is nice to see after a not-so-good 2024, and he does get through the third, but the Giants lead 5-1. Top four now, here's Seth Brown. He's going to lead it away with a single up the middle as the Athletics offense tries to get them back into this one. It's not going to be easy, however, as a couple batters later, Brown's now on third for Tyler Soderstrom, who hits this one up the middle. A great try over there by Luciano, but it cannot stop it from being a base hit. And an RBI for Tyler Soderstrom. Now 5-2, Logan Davidson, now a couple batters later, will end the inning with a 6-4-3 double play. He has had a good couple weeks in spring, I will say. Starting top five, here's Nick Allen leading off, and he's going to get a splitter and jack it to left field, and it's out of here. Nick Allen, not known for his pop of the bat, especially against right-handed pitching, he hits one over the fence, cuts the lead within two as Nick Allen continues to have a sensational spring at 366, feet to the left, and the Athletics now trail 5-3. Next batter, Gio Urshela, full count pitch, and he's going to go again to the right center gap. It's going to roll all the way to this time. Longball will cut it off, but Urshela's going to try to leg out two, and he will. 3-for-3 day for the former Tiger, as he's now on second. Ryan Noda up next, and he's going to rope one deep right field. This one's got some carry. Longball is back, and he won't make the play. However, the runner was not sure if he'd be caught, so he had to wait to tag. So it's going to be a double, but the runner will stay at third base. So 2 on, 1 out now for Seth Brown. Full count pitch, and he rips the slider into the right center gap, and that's going to tie this one up. The Athletics offense comes firing back here in the 5th. They tie it up at 5 apiece, and it's still 1 away. Now 2 down for Tyler Soderstrom. 0-1 pitch is Noda now on third, as this one's going to be ripped over to Luciano, and that will end the 5th inning. We're tied up at 5 again. Chris Martin will come in and relieve the former Boston Red Sox. He's only pitched 1 inning this spring, and, well, he gave up another run in that inning. He's going to be tasked with straining 2 on with 1 away, as this Blake Sabol up, who rips this one to left field. He eats up Brown, and that's going to give the Giants the lead once more. That earned run will go against Mason Miller. As now 2 down for Luciano. He draws a walk. So bases loaded. Another free pass given up. And it's going to be Paul DeJong. 1-2, and Martin gets some swinging on the cutter. The Giants lead those 6-5. Could have been worse. As we go top 6, runner on second, and Logan Davidson's going to get in on the action. He slaps this one down the third base line, and we're knotted up at 6 this time as the Athletics get the run back again. Still tied up. Top 6 still. 2 on, 1 out for Noto, who's had a great day, and it's going to continue. It's going to get down and left. Athletics are going to send the runner, and they got the lead 7-6 as the A's have fought back to not only tie it, but to get the lead. Zach Jackson will come in the next half inning. He's only pitched 1 inning as well this string. He did not give up a run in his. He's coming off of a not-so-good 2024 as well. He's tasked with straining the runner on third with 2 down, and he does it. Gets him to check his swing, but Flores went around, so it stays 7-6. And then we go top 7 where Langoliers wants some insurance. No doubt about this one to left field off of the billboard as Shea Langoliers crushes this one and makes it 8-6. 5th home run of the season for Shea, who's coming off a season where he hit under 200. It's good to see the Bats have themselves a statement game here as they now lead by 2 over the Giants. Going to the 8th inning where the 3-time reliever of the year, Craig Kimbrell, will come in relief. He's now the setup man here for the A's. He's got 1 down. Otto Lopez at the dish. He'll bloop this one to right field, and Butler will not get into it as that will land for a single. Next batter, Joey Bart, 2-2 up the middle. Allen tries to cut it off, but he can't make the play at second. So now 2 on, 1 out. The Giants have the tying run at first base, and they're going to bring in Lucas Urseg. Kimbrell's a little tired, so we're going to bring in our closer last year, who's trying to now compete for a setup spot, and he gets the next 2 batters out. Gives us a 2-run lead into the 9th as we try to get some insurance. Here's the last at-bat for Robbie Martin this spring, and, well, it's going to end in a ground out. That'll take us to the 9th inning where the new closer, John Brebbia, will come in. He's only got 1 chance this spring to make a save, and he did. He's going to have to do the same thing here. He gets the first 2 batters out. He's got Lamont Wade up next, who crushes this one to deep center field. Ruiz is back at the track, and he'll make the grab. And the Athletics win by a final score of 8-6. What was a very good game for the offense. I'm very impressed with how the offense played this game. 16 hits overall for the team. I hope that continues into the regular season. The pitching was not as good. We gave up 7 free base runners, 6 walks, and a hit batter. So not ideal, but at least the back half of the rotation, or the bullpen, did good. So we end the spring 17-14, which is actually a half game back for the best record in the Cactus League. That's pretty impressive despite it only being spring training. But now it's time for the cut to 26. Now I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll show you the obvious ones first, as here are the first couple of guys that we're going to send down to AAA. Probably the most notable here is Lawrence Butler's going to go down to AAA. He spent all of last year at the Major League squad. But with adding Gio Urshela to the offense, one guy is going to be the odd man out, and it's going to be Lawrence Butler. So he'll begin in AAA, but he'll be the first guy called up if we need some help offensively. So now down to the tougher decisions. Starting with Luis Medina. Again, non-ERA in the spring. He's out of options, but I just don't think you can warrant that staying on the Major League level. So we're going to send him through waivers. Hopefully he doesn't get claimed, because I do want to keep him in the organization. He's only 25. But he's got to go through the waiver wire first. The next guy we're going to send down is Daryl Hernandez. I honestly forgot to send him down in the obvious section. So, yeah, he'll be in AAA. Next up, Jordan Diaz, who was our third baseman for a lot of last year. He hit sub-200 in the spring. And with Urshela now in the lineup, he'll start off in AAA. Joey Estes might be a surprise, but we just have a lot of pitching now. And he's going to go down to AAA. So that means Waldachuk won the 5th-man rotation battle. But he'll be the first pitcher we call up to the big league level if we need him. And that'll do it for the cuts. We're down to 26. One guy you did not see sent down is Robbie Martin. Yes, the number 4 overall pick just last year has made the opening day team. I don't know if he'll necessarily start at shortstop right away, but I wanted to keep him at the major league level to get him some experience. I honestly think his bat's ready for it. So we'll see what he does early on in the season, as here's the final 26. Here's a look at the lineup. We'll go up against righties first. Mostly the same guys on both sides of it, despite at shortstop, we are going to platoon Logan Davidson and Nick Allen to begin. The Davidson against righties and Allen against lefties to see how it goes. Other than that, same guys in the lineup, just a little bit of a different shuffle. And then on the pitching side of things, here is your rotation. Waldichuk deserved, in my opinion, the 5th spot. He had a 3 ERA this spring. In the bullpen, you can see the guys here. Miller are long relievers. Barlow, Jackson, Martin are the middle. Urseg's now going to be the setup because John Brebbia will be the closer. But that'll do it for the spring. We'll start off next episode with opening day. It'll be a 4-game series at home against the Baltimore Orioles, which means we are going to debut our new home in Sacramento against the Baltimore Orioles. It'll be opening day like you've never seen before. But thank you guys so much for watching. I cannot wait to get year 2 started. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.